Hey guys, what's good? Mike here, Laker Talk. I gotta rant about this really quick. I know Jahlil Okafor is not on our team. People are like, Mike, why are you talking about Jahlil Okafor? But here's the thing. I gotta talk about Jahlil Okafor and this dumb plus and minus stat that people keeps throwing out to me every time I'm debating somebody on Twitter. Okay, so here's the deal, guys. Jahlil Okafor is going to be a reoccurring topic of mine for the life of my blog. Why? Because, as you all know, we were about to draft, or at least half of Laker Nation thought we were going to draft Jahlil Okafor. The other half wanted D'Angelo Russell up until the last day. Everybody thought it was going to be Karl-Anthony Towns and Jahlil Okafor going number 1 and 2. I was in the Jahlil Okafor camp. Now, I started my vlog out of frustration after we drafted D'Angelo Russell, but here's the thing. Hear me out. I've moved on from that. I actually like D'Angelo Russell. I think he has all-star potential. So I'm riding with D'Angelo Russell. He is on our team. He is my guy. But whenever Jahlil Okafor has a good game or whatnot, it comes up on my radar. Like, that's my guy. I like Jahlil Okafor. I like what he's doing, what he does. And when he puts up good numbers, I'm like, hey, Jahlil Okafor have a good game. So I'll tweet that out sometimes. If he's balling, like the other day, he put up 31 points, 8 rebounds in 32 minutes. He shot 63%, 12 of 19. I think he had like 2 blocks, something like that. The other night, he played against the Nets. He had 22 and 17. In the last 5 games, he's averaging 21, 10, 2 blocks, 55% field goal shooting, 83% from the free throw line. I mean, the dude's balling. He's continuously outplays every veteran center that he plays against. He balls up against Boogie Cousins. He dominated Karl-Anthony Towns when he played him one-on-one. I mean, when he matched up against him about a month ago. Check the YouTube, if you want to see that battle. He balls up against Brook Lopez. He balls up against any veteran center in the NBA, and he's a rookie. So yeah, I like Jahlil Okafor. Now here's the thing: every time I throw out or I tweet about Jahlil Okafor balling, somebody, and it's primarily those who are in the D'Angelo Russell camp, they'll say, Mike, but he's negative 28 or he's negative 20 in the plus minus stat, and he plays no defense. Man, let me tell you this. That's the most dumbest stat in the NBA. And here's the other thing. A lot of the people that come at me about Jahlil Okafor after he dominates and have a good game as a rookie, you're kind of like that girl. You're kind of like a girl who's trying to put down another girl to make yourself feel better. Like you think that because I'm saying Jahlil Okafor is balling out, you think I'm indirectly calling out D'Angelo Russell. No, they can both be good players. They can both be all-star potential. It's like I have a girl, she's a 9, and I look at another girl and I'm like, well, she's pretty fine. And then my girl said, no, she's not. I'm like, yeah, every guy in the world can see that she's a 9 or 8, 9, or a 10, right? It doesn't take away anything about my girl. It doesn't take away her beauty or what she means to me, right? I can just see someone else and see that she's good looking. That's the same thing about D'Angelo Russell fans. You think every time I throw out Jahlil Okafor, you think I'm knocking D'Angelo Russell. No, get over it. I've moved on. I like D'Angelo Russell, but at the same time, I could say Jahlil Okafor has a good game. Now here's a dumb plus and minus stat thing. People throw out, Mike, he doesn't play any defense, or look at his plus minus stat. Now this plus minus stat is the dumbest thing in the NBA. It's the dumbest stat because what it does, it says if you're on the floor and your team gets outscored by 10 points while you're on the floor, then your plus minus stat is negative 10. Okay, so if your team is consistently getting blown out by 20 points, while you're on the floor, your plus minus is a negative 20 or something like that. So if I'm on the floor and my team is outscoring the other team by 10 points, then my plus minus stat is plus 10, right? So it clearly talks about when you're on the floor, whether or not your team is outscoring the other team. Now, why this is so dumb is because it doesn't take into account if the other team is scoring on you or your other defenders or your other teammates, right? Also, here's another stat. If you're on the, okay, like let's say I'm a starter and like Jahlil Okafor is playing against the Chicago Bulls or something like that, right? And the starting team, the starting five is outscoring Philadelphia 76, which happens all the time, right? By 10 points. Then he goes off the floor and the reserves come in. The reserves comes in for the Bulls. Now, the game is pretty much even at that point. Okay, so the reserves aren't really getting blown out by the Chicago Bulls reserves. So what happens at the end of the game, it shows that when Jahlil Okafor is on the floor, his team continuously gets outplayed. But when he's off the floor, his team doesn't get outplayed. That's dumb because he's obviously a starter. So when he goes out, the other team starters is going to be sitting on the bench too. So when the reserves come in, the reserves are playing against the other reserves. So that's also not indicative of his play, right? So it's really dumb. And also, when you look at the plus and minus stat, like the records of NBA players, all the sorry teams are at the bottom. All the Philadelphia 76ers teams, players, all the Laker teams, including D'Angelo Russell, Kobe, Roy Hibbert, Clarkson, Randall, we're all at the bottom. Why? Because we're the second worst team, so we're obviously always getting blown out. Same with Phoenix. Their players are at the bottom. Guess who's at the top? All the Golden State Warrior players, all the Cleveland Cavaliers players, including Matthew Dellavedova, including all the Spurs players. So it doesn't make any sense. If those teams are continuously beating other teams, then their players are going to have strong plus minus stats, right? Now, it doesn't even make any sense when people say Jahlil Okafor can't play any defense. So what that he's not a bona fide defender? He is highly skilled and he is what he is. He can develop that. Put him on Greg Popovich's team. You think he would have a negative plus minus stat? Right? Put him on a system that he can buy into where he have other good teammates. You think he's going to have a negative plus minus stat? No. Just like when he went to Coach's K system, guess what? He won a championship with them. All right? So it's not about all this, oh, he can't play. That's the most overrated comment that people make about Jahlil Okafor. No. You put him on any team and he's balling. He's balling for the 76ers and he's a rookie. Yeah, that team is like a train wreck. I mean, that franchise right now, the 76ers. So, yeah, it's just like the Lakers. The Lakers suck. We got 11 wins. Is that any indication on how our guys can play, on D'Angelo Russell or Jordan Clarkson or Julius Randle? No. It's because our entire system sucks. So the 76ers system sucks too. And so it is what it is. But don't come at me about this plus minus stat. That's the most garbage thing in the NBA. What you do is watch the games. If somebody can play, he can play. If somebody can't play, he can't play. Like early in the year, I was like, why is Anthony Brown playing for the Lakers? He should be in the D League. All of a sudden, he's not even playing anymore. I don't even know where he is. Because he couldn't play. To me, I'm like, he's not NBA worthy. Just watch the games. If you see somebody's balling out, then he's balling out. If he's defending well, then he's defending well. If he's not, if he's missing defensive assignments, then he's missing defensive assignments. But don't focus on this plus minus stat to tell you whether a player is good or not. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, hit me up in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for commenting, liking, and subscribing on my YouTube channel. And as always, hit me up on Twitter at MikeSportsLA. Thanks, guys, for watching. We'll talk soon, guys. Peace.